we're back here working on the 1954 International. Last time we left you guys, we finished up this fender, got it all solid up, solid everywhere. It's pretty much done. But we had to do it with the partner in crime, the passenger side. So, no time like the present. You guys already know what I got to do at the very beginning. We got to take the cut and butt steel out, that kind of stuff, do some general dent repair. But then I'll show you guys exactly what has to be done to that fender because it doesn't match this one exactly. Welcome to Iowa Stable Garage. So, now that we got this poor old feller beat, we can start to actually diagnose some things. And this one has a couple interesting spots on this that the other fender didn't. Some of the repairs are going to be the exact same, but then some of them not. Let me bring you guys right in. So, this one is different on this fender, but it's going to be the same repair. This outer lip here, as you can see, is basically all riveted the entire way up to about here, right here. The steel in the middle is actually quite good, so I can reuse that. But from here, basically all the way down, it needs new steel. Same as this bottom lip. The bottom lip isn't the worst, but it's thin in some spots. Like right here, it's all creased in. I got to repair this section here. It's a little too thin to weld, so I'm going to have to basically put a little chunk in there. I don't think it's a big deal. Now, that kind of repair carries all the way through this. There's another patch here, just a patch that I gotta do, and one down here. This whole bottom lip here needs to be reconstructed. Not a huge deal, but one of the interesting parts on this fender that's not like the other one is this right here. We got another one of those tube reinforcement plates, whatever. But where it gets interesting is if you look, we got rot. And we got like almost like a tar, kinda. But it comes all the way up into here. So it's either a big braze or it's a bunch of Bondo. See, I think it's a bunch of braze based on the outside. You can kind of see the scar up right here. I kind of want to leave that. I'm going to beat it out just a little bit, but this section right here is too far gone. I'm going to have to add a new piece, but I might leave this braze section in just for some character, you know what I mean? But we got a lot of steel work to do. We got to come in here and redo this entire bottom lip. Kind of sucks. Way she goes. Now, there's an old saying for something like this. I think it's like, if you're gonna eat a whale or an elephant or something along those lines, you eat it piece by piece. We're not gonna really eat any whales around here, but you know, this fender definitely has a little bit of work to do on it. So, I think what I'm gonna do is just come right in here and start working right on this section right here. Now, side point, I was gonna keep the braze. I kind of like the look. But the rot actually goes right down to here. I would have to replace this section, then this section, then this section. All in all, I'm just going to replace this section right here. So, let's get to work. Now, fun fact, when I did this section, we had a lot of people wondering, you know, why I didn't hand form it. Well, a little bit out of my comfort zone. Now, see a piece just like this, kind of one plane, instead of three-dimensional plane, I'm a lot more comfortable with. So we're going to hand form this piece, lip and all, do it a little bit over big. That way when I put it on, I can do a nice cut and butt. So we might as well use a sheet of 16 gauge. That's pretty thick. Actually, you know what? I think that's 16 gauge. So we're just going to kind of use this pipe block here, hammer, little crimps. You know, nothing fancy, kind of the exact same tools you guys always see me do. But first, I got to trace this guy out again. We're going to trace him out maybe 1/2 inch all around extra. And then on the bottom, we'll give ourselves tons of extra room because we got to bend it over. So, let me find a good sheet of steel and we'll start cutting it in. that's what I got compared to the original one. It's a little bit oversized, which I like. And is it an exact fit? No. We're going to have to do some cut and butt. At the back, I had to do 3 relief cuts here and here, so I'll have to build that up with weld and cut that down and blend it for the original lip. Or what I'm going to have to do is add a little piece here, but it's not a big deal. But overall, we have the arc right, which works out pretty darn good. So, time to start trying to graft this guy onto that fender. Obviously, as we go, we're going to have to cut and butt first. Move it around to make sure it's the nicest looking that we can get it. But as we cut and butt, we're going to have to dolly it here and there because it's quite a big piece getting it out. Now, as you guys can see, that was an hour and a half of beating on the ground, and obviously if you have more skill and more tools, you're going to be better than me. But that's the exact reason why I elected to weld that fender up like Terry's chocolate orange and not hand beat it out. Just don't got the tooling for it. So, let's start working on that fender. Well, there you go, fellas. I think that patch turned out pretty darn good. It's not perfect, but it's okay. It matches the rest of the fender, which is awesome. It matches that one too. But yeah, that's kind of what it looks like. Let me show you the back. It's kind of how it is. We got a little thin on the lip, but that's okay. It's hidden by the tire anyway. So overall, pretty happy with it. But now we have to do the rest of it, you know, the bottom sills and this part right here and that part before we can say she's all done. But at least the arch panel's done. All right, so that patch is in. Time to start working on this bottom lip here. So we got the bottom lip all put on there, tied into that. Just had to do this one little section right up until here. I'll have to straighten this out just after with a little bit of hammer dolly work. But now what we're gonna do, we're gonna move on to this section right here. This guy won't be that bad, just kind of cut out him, replace him, and then we can move over here. This basically needs to be done, and then just this little bottom lip piece. So let's start working on that guy right there. There you go there, fellas. We got that fender pretty much all squared up. Best of my abilities anyway. We got the patch on the bottom, new lip. This fender, we actually managed to keep most of this external lip here, so it should line up a lot better than the other one did. Really, the only difference that we had on this one was that arch piece right here, this corner piece. No real good way around that, but we got it replaced, so that's good. So now what we're gonna do, I'm just gonna bring it over here. We're gonna kind of line it up roughly, and then I can scribe my lines on my two pieces there, cut those, bring it in, tack it, you know how it is, drill it, put our bolts, work on it like that. Now that we got this guy rough tacked on, it's time that we start putting some bolts in this before, you know, it starts falling off. So let's get right to it. There you go, fellas. We got the fender draped on. Now we got to do the exact same test, you know, like on the other one. Can it hold our weight? Oh yeah, no issues there. It's 8 bolts on this that hold that little guy on. No problems whatsoever. It's mated down to the bottom. I just noticed I lost the footage as I was filming. You know, the way she goes. But there's still a little bit of work to do to these guys, but we're only going to do it when they come off again. And these guys aren't going to come off until basically the running boards get attached, and then when we blow it all apart to actually clean up things and do final dent repair and stuff like that, that's where we'll work on it. But right now, those guys are staying just where they are. So let's take a walk around and let's take a look. So there's the driver's side. There's the passenger side. Oh yeah. Not gonna lie, it's looking pretty darn good. It's gonna be awesome when that front end's fixed to match these rear quarters. But that looks pretty darn good, not gonna lie. When there's a running board there, whew, it's gonna look some sharp. So there you go, guys. We got both fenders done. One in the other episode, just finished up this one. So now we can pretty much pick and choose where we want to go. Do I want to work on this rear part here and start working our way into tailgate? Might do that. Or do we want to start tackling that front end so that we can do running boards? Because running boards are like the last thing to mate the two. Tailgate has to be done once that bottom valance and stuff is there. It's hard to say. We'll see where the wind takes us. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you guys very soon on the next iteration of the 54 International chassis swap. Should we even call it a chassis swap at this point? Because, like, most of it is hand-built at this point. We don't really have a lot of the original chassis left. Food for thought. I'll catch you guys in the next one really, really soon. All right, see ya.